Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome back to my channel. So glad you're with me today. I'm getting on because I want to take a look at Mitch McConnell today. So you've probably seen the news that he disagrees with the censure of Kinzinger and Cheney, calling the insurrection what it was, a violent insurrection. And you know, I'm not giving this guy any brownie points every time he does the smallest thing that might be accurate. But the other reason I want to look at Mitch McConnell is because Biden came on the news or, whatever. He was quoted as saying just a few days ago that him and Mitch McConnell are friends. They go way back, and that Mitch McConnell is an honorable man. So that is just cray talking right there. Now, I love me some Biden. I think he's doing a good job. I think his low poll numbers are either lies or I don't know where that's coming from. But one of the criticisms is that he's just not taking this GOP stonewalling seriously. And I mean, my God, Mitch McConnell, you're calling Mitch McConnell, trustworthy? Is he out of his mind? Does he, what is going on? I know they go way back, but, you got to call a spade a spade. I mean, this is supposed to be plain talking Joe here, right? He's supposed to be telling it like it is. Don't point to the devil and tell me that looks like a butterfly. Mitch McConnell is nasty. He's a nasty piece of work, and he's damaging to this nation. And I can't believe... Anyways, I can't believe that Biden said that about him. So I'm going to take a look. I'm going to do my versus spread on Biden versus Mitch McConnell to see if we can figure out what's really going on between these two men and how they see each other. Okay, so that's what we're going to do to start off. Let's see if I can bring you down for this here. Biden versus McConnell. So on this side here is going to be Biden. Okay, I don't think you're going to be able to see this. Let me just bring you up. My table dynamics aren't what they used to be here. Okay, Biden. And over here we have McConnell. And I'm going to stick a little card in the middle to represent the both of them. Here, I'll flip at the end. So, okay. So, I just needed to take a minute to get into these cards a little bit here. And I'm going to start off with Biden, okay? So, Biden. What is in Biden's head? And we have the Ten of Pentacles. So, the next card for Biden is how he sees McConnell. And I'm going to hold this up at the same time because these are related to each other, okay? So this is what's in Biden's head, and this is how he sees Mitch McConnell. So the feeling I'm getting here is he is recognizing Mitch McConnell's power, okay? Mitch McConnell holds the purse strings for the Republican Party. He doles out the money, and he has big money. Big money, big donors, big pocketbooks. He's got these PACs. He's got the Senate committees. He holds bank, okay? And he uses that to control his members. That's how he can get them to fall in line so consistently is he holds the money over their heads. So part of the reason that he has all this ability and he has the money and he can do all this is because Mitch McConnell's been sitting there a long time. He's not a newcomer to this game, okay? As Biden says, he and McConnell go way back. And so I think what these cards are telling us is that Biden recognizes that McConnell is a long-termer. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of resources. He's very powerful in the Senate, okay? And he's very powerful with the money. He's just got a lot of resources there, especially financial resources. He's just a treasure trove of resources and money and what have you. And that's what's in Biden's head. And the way he sees McConnell here is just someone who's just very adept at producing and continuing this sort of quality. He's very, he works hard in the Republican Party to control the party, keep them in line, pursue their, they used to have an agenda. Now they don't really have an agenda anymore. All they really want to do is block whatever Democratic presidents do. But he's very productive in this way. So he's very hard at work, trying to get in place what he wants to put in place. Very hard at work, trying to pay the people he wants to pay, stiff the people he wants to stiff, right? It's all about using those monies for control. So yes, Biden can see this long-term friend of his who's been around for ages. He's got a deep, deep pockets. He's been there a really long time, a lot of contacts, a lot of resources. He's very productive at what Mitch McConnell does. So he is a force to be reckoned with. And this is something that Biden recognizes and presumably goes a ways towards explaining why he would offer such a nice gesture to Mitch McConnell and call him upstanding or whatever it was he said about him, which was crazy because he's not. And look at these rats in the treasure chest. Biden knows there's some dirt there, okay? Now, nobody's asking my pleasant opinion, but I think Mitch McConnell's dirtier than tar. But this is telling us that Biden, yes, there's a rat. He's smelling a rat in that treasure chest of money. And that's how he sees Mitch McConnell. For Mitch's part, what's in his head is temperance, okay? And this is a card of balance. So, Mitch McConnell's job as a senator, especially as the minority leader, is to try and keep a balance between the Democrats and the Republicans, right? Keep the Democrats in check, continue with their agenda, that kind of, to keep a balance of power. That's really what he's fighting for, is keeping that balance in check. So he doesn't want the Democrats to use the majority that they have in both those houses, but especially the Senate, to get their agenda going. Even though he's in the minority, he wants to equalize them, right? He wants to kind of, do what he's been doing with the filibusters and everything, is just blocking the agenda, blocking the legislation, just blocking everything. Even though he's in the minority, he wants to act like he's the majority still, wants to act like, it is a 50-50 Senate. Kamala's a tiebreaker. This is kind of what's going on in his head. How can he keep that 50-50 from benefiting the Democrats? How can he keep his power, act like he's a majority when he's really the minority? It's about that balance. Keeping, he wants a GOP to have more power that they're entitled to. So I'm thinking that's what's in his head. And as far as Biden is concerned, this is telling me that his reaction to Biden, his thoughts about Biden are not extreme, okay? So if there was a friendship between these two men, I think the most it could do for Mitch McConnell is to get him to be a little more moderate, not so extreme, not quite so hateful and rude, to the extent that that's possible. I mean, let's not pretend that Biden doesn't know who Mitch McConnell is. He was Obama's vice president when Mitch McConnell robbed him of his Supreme Court pick, right? Biden was there for that. He knows. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, is there some underlying reason why he would be so respectful to Mitch McConnell? And so far, again, all I'm getting is there's a long history there. There's really deep pockets. There's a lot of contacts, a lot of resources. Mitch McConnell's very powerful. And so Biden's going to respect that in order to maybe tampen down McConnell's extremeness. Not extremeness isn't the best word, but his, just being so far. So, just to moderate him, bring him back to the center a little bit. Like, hey, can't we just get along, And I would say that, it might be working. But more than anything, McConnell wants to keep the GOP's power as equal to the Democrats as he can while they're the minority. So there's balance there on multiple levels that he's trying to maintain. How does he see Biden? We have the Four of Cups. So, this card has a sort of a restful, sort of gentle feel to it, relaxing under a tree. The feeling I'm getting is he doesn't see Biden as a threat. He's not someone who's going to really trigger McConnell. I think there's a relaxed relationship between the two. They don't trigger each other. They're not going to really set each other off, But, I do feel like this hand is like Biden offering him this memory of better times, this memory of a friendship, memory of these emotions. Like, hey, dude, here's this cup. We used to be friends. We used to be able to get along. You used to know what democracy really meant. You used to be a law-abiding person. Hey, can't you just take my offering and let's work together? But really, this card means, nah, I don't like what you have to offer. I'm not really satisfied with what you're giving me. I don't really like my choices here. So, even though Biden's doing what he can, McConnell is still reticent. He still doesn't want to take that offering of friendship or memories or relationship from Biden. Yeah, he's not triggered. He's not all up in arms. He's not in battle mode, but he's kind of hands off. Okay. He's not picking up what Biden's putting down. Let's just say it that way. But Biden has been able to ratchet it down a little bit for McConnell. Okay, so interesting. So the next set of cards is what's in their hearts. And these cards also seem to be related. What is in Biden's heart? We have the King of Swords. What is in McConnell's heart? We have the Four of Swords. These swords. So I think what this card is telling us about Biden is all this gentility aside, the offer of friendship aside, the ratcheting down the tension aside, in his heart, he knows what he needs to do. He knows how he needs to fight. He knows that he needs to have the law on his side and justice on his side. He's quick-witted. He knows what needs to be done. He's thinking ahead, okay? This guy's planning his action. This king is very forward-thinking, very logical, very powerful. And I think this is telling us that regardless of the facade that Biden is putting on to sort of schmooze McConnell in his heart of hearts, he is fully equipped to fight in the way that he feels he needs to, for truth, for justice, and so forth. So, Biden's a Scorpio, and Scorpios don't play. And he's obviously, an elder statesman. He knows how to control himself. And, he's evolved. He's the eagle instead of the scorpion for Scorpio. But make no mistake, this guy has a very strong sense of justice, of purpose, of will, and he knows how to use his gifts, okay? He's very strong with these swords, with the king. So that's what's in his heart. So I think the heart is telling us the truth about what's inside, whereas the head is telling us, is the schmoozing, the friendly Joe, hey, Mitch McConnell, he's going to do that for the smoothest route possible. But this guy don't play. Deep inside, he knows what he's doing. Okay, for Mitch McConnell with the Four of Swords, this is telling us what's in Mitch McConnell's heart is, you know, he might be needing to sort of rethink his strategy. You know, he has been fairly loyal Trump supporter. You know, yeah, he comes out and he says, you know, some things about Trump when he's really pushed against the wall, like after the second impeachment. And he said, yeah, you know, it was an insurrection, it was Trump's fault, but he's still not going to impeach him, right? This strategy that McConnell's been using, yeah, he might be rethinking it. He's might be kind of meditating on it. He might be, you know, really just backing off a little. This is just telling us he's backing off. He's rethinking. He's re-strategizing. Maybe he needs to approach things a little differently. Maybe Biden's overtures to him are going somewhere. You know, this isn't some guy he just wants to turn around and lop his head off. Biden is someone he kind of probably does respect. And again, Biden's not triggering him. Biden's not overly aggressive. He's not creating a situation where these two men have to be at war. So McConnell can kind of, you know, bring it down a few notches. And this is, now that he's bringing it down a few notches, okay, maybe I need to step back and rethink my approach here. Maybe I need to rethink how much I really want to support some of these rabid candidates, or how much I really want to sit back while others try and put Trump back in power, right? These kind of things, like, maybe I need to rethink this a little bit. Okay, so the last set of cards here is their actions. What are they going to be doing? And for Biden, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel turns, right? So the wheel turns. What is up must come down. What is down must come up. And I think this is telling us that what Biden is going to be doing is turning the wheel of governance. So everything, you know, he's trying to, you know, obviously fix a bunch of problems. Let's see, how should I word this? He wants to turn this toxic relationship between the two parties into something that can work again, right? He wants to unite the country. This is one of his main themes for his presidency, is to unite the nation again. So he's trying to turn the wheel, right? Bring our fortunes up to the better. It's a karmic card. This means that this is destiny for Biden and then therefore the nation. He's trying to, you know, improve the nation's lot here by working with McConnell, seeing if he can improve the whole situation, make it better than it was, kind of work off, you know, get some good karma going, I guess. For McConnell, his action, interesting, we have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is about home and family and structure and foundation, stability, and family. I feel with this card, you know, he could really be, this could be him hunkering down with the Republicans, trying to keep their structure intact. But there's such beauty and joy in this card. What I'm really feeling here is that he might give just enough to keep our government intact, to keep the democratic structure intact, the nation's foundations intact. So he might not be willing to completely destroy this country. And, you know, I can hear what I'm saying. And, you know, this is not how I personally think of Mitch McConnell. I feel like the guy's evil and he's done everything he possibly can to damage this nation. But this card is telling us that, ooh, just like with the second impeachment, when push comes to shove and he's backed up against the wall, he might say the right thing, didn't do the right thing, but he might do just enough to keep it all from crumbling down, right? This is about preserving the foundation. So his actions essentially are going to be to preserve the foundation, to preserve the structure, hopefully of democracy and of our government. So there's one final card in the middle of them that represent their relationship, and it's the Magician. So the Magician is all about manipulation and control, okay? Making something out of nothing, getting your way, creating the reality that you desire, okay? Manifesting what it is that you want in the world. Now, the best of this card is that you use your spiritual gifts to manifest the reality that you want. The worst of the card is that you trick and lie and deceive, to manipulate and control others to get what you want. So, that is kind of how the two men go about their business. But when it comes to their relationship, the core of their relationship is about control, manipulation, creating the reality that each of them wants in the world, and using the tools that they have to get that done. They're both magicians in that sense, one of the high order, one of the low order, and it's really, it's a juggle. It's going to be who is the better sorcerer, right? Who can manifest their vision clearer. But yeah, these two men are always going to be trying to control each other, manipulate each other, push each other in this direction or that direction, get them to do this or not do that. It's a dance, between these two guys, these two men. And I would say that just by, natural law, the higher vibration is always going to win out there. So I think Biden, has the advantage, especially since, the Democrats are obviously in power right now. But I think really, especially looking at Mitch McConnell's cards, and I'm not prone to give this guy any credit, but it does look again like he's maybe moving into a little bit more moderate stance, a little bit more balanced behavior, not so triggered, not so aggressive. Yeah, he's not going to, pick up what Biden's putting down, but, he's ratcheting it down. It's a little more relaxed, okay? He's in retreat. We're thinking his strategy. Maybe he needs to start doing things differently than he has in order to maintain the very foundation and structure of this country, okay? But as always, it's all about manipulation and control. And for Biden's part, he can see for McConnell, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. And however friendly he wants to be, he's a king of swords, all right? So it's all about strategy. These two men are strategizing right here, but this one is doing it in a retreat posture, and this one is doing it in an, I want to say offensive, it's a football term, but he's moving forward, whereas this guy is retreating. So again, that puts the advantage on Biden. And yeah, he wants to change our fortunes for the better. And, hopefully McConnell will not be willing to completely destroy this country, although, he's done a lot of damage already. So that is going to be it, I think, for this reading. And I'm just going to leave it there for today. And I will be with all of you just in a couple more days. And until I see you again, have a great couple of days, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Bye.